1, 2, 3, 4.
Where arts and culture summits the airwaves, this is the Nine Rails Arts Podcast. I am R. Brandon Long alongside Todd Obendorfer, and we are the Banyan Collective, arts and adventure podcasting since 2010. This episode includes an interview with Reba and Michelle of the 12th Annual Ogden Music Festival. We also include an update from Visit Ogden's Sara Toliver on this weekend's Spike 150 event, including information on how to volunteer and how to best participate in all the weekend's events. It's festival season, and we're covering all the action right here on the Nine Rails Arts Podcast.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. We gon' do what they say can be done. We got a long way to go, and it's short time to get there. Hey, I'm eastbound, just watch old bandit run.
The proper way, bringing the love. The Nine Rails Arts Podcast House Band. Thank you so much to The Proper Way. You can find an episode of The Proper Way live on Van Sessions at thebanyancollective.com. Highly encourage you to check that out and give The Proper Way a follow on Spotify. We sit in the Monarch parking lot watching Lime scooters go by on a Sunday.
I might have a little experience with that.
Oh, yeah. How was your ride on Friday night at Van Sessions? First time on a Lime?
This is my first time on Ogden's Lime.
Yeah.
I have been on a Lime or whatever company they have out in San Diego. So you get stuck in the back of the van. I get to play outside.
Yes.
And so Kim Boucher shows up, and I hijacked her scooter.
You stole her scooter. You stole Kim's scooter.
Without any sort of lessons, and so it's been some time since I've used it, so I'm trying to kick it. It's just not really doing anything. So I learned the speed part, and so I'm zooming around. I think you saw me zoom
I'm
by
trying
the
to
van
produce
a
a
times.
show, and Todd's zooming around on scooter, Lime scooter, past the audience. Oh, that was good stuff.
But then I may or may not have run into the back of the van because there's apparently a little break.
It does come with brakes.
That I was not as aware of as I should have been. But yeah, we had an amazing time at Van Sessions the other night. So.
No injuries though, right? You're injury free on your.
Completely injury free.
Okay.
Yeah, completely injury free.
Yeah, the van's okay too, by the way.
Oh, the van's fine.
Don't
The
know what
Lime
happened
is
to the scooter.
fine. It can take a punch. We're good. Yeah.
So while we were there on Friday, we set up camp again here in the Monarch upper deck in the van, and we were able to speak with Reba Nissen and Michelle Tanner of Ogden Friends of Acoustic Music and this year's 12th Annual Ogden Music Festival. All right, so we are now chatting with Reba and Michelle of OFOM. Ogden's Music Festival is coming up very soon. What's the dates here? May 31st through June 2nd, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
This is what year are we looking at?
Ooh, 12th. Yeah.
12 years. What have you learned over the previous 11 that's being applied to year 12 here?
Oh my gosh. Well, partly that, it will come together and everything will be okay.
It's true because we've had all kinds of mishaps along the way, but we always know that when it all is said and done and the weekend's here, it's just incredible. It's amazing, and everybody comes together, and all the stress of putting it together kind of washes away for a minute.
Well, it's a fun event. The Ogden Music Festival is at Fort Benaventura, where you can camp and hang out.
Beautiful
and listen to live
camping
music.
on site.
Yeah.
We're so lucky to have that spot.
Bluegrass Festival for 3 days, and headlining this year would be who?
Infamous String Dusters.
In the bluegrass realm, yes.
And then we've got Mavis Staples.
Yeah.
We mix it up, We're a little hesitant to have 3 whole days of bluegrass, but we do have a strong bluegrass flavor, but we mix it up pretty good.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so what's the lineup this year? There's a couple returning, I've noticed. Is that Shook?
Yes,
and,
Shook Twins.
And
Della Mae.
Della Mae.
We love our women musicians, and
We do.
we bring them back.
Yes, which is good. And then the support from the community. You guys got a ton of sponsors. which is
Yeah,
fantastic.
we
Yeah.
really do. We have great support from the community, not just local and area government grants, but a lot of corporate business sponsors and private donors. And we're just really proud that we have the community behind us, and they love the event, and it allows us to keep going.
How big of a team does Ogden Friends of Acoustic Music have? Is it just a handful to put this thing together?
It's grown over the years, and this year we probably have 20 strong committee team leads for each of our areas, and they're all just every year they just get stronger and stronger, and we couldn't do it without that big a crew. And then we have around 200 volunteers on site, which is phenomenal.
They're going to be busy. Well, they'll probably, same volunteers will be busy with the sesquicentennial this weekend as well. So they'll get a little practice in before the OFOM. Yeah.
Well, and they always, Utah has a good sense of volunteerism, and Ogden was one of the highest in terms of volunteers.
I do.
Remember that
Yeah.
report?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Utah is the highest in the
highest
country.
in the country, and Ogden's one of the higher in the state. I think Provo's the highest, but
Do you have all the volunteers that you need?
not yet.
No.
But May the 4th be with you
Yes.
to volunteer.
Yes, ma'am.
Because tomorrow at Grounds for Coffee, I don't know when you're going to air this. Or
Oh yeah, this it already happened, but that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did
You
a
had a
cool
great
volunteer
day.
I'm like,
sign
it was
up.
fantastic.
We did. So many
turnout
people
was
came down.
amazing.
We got free drinks for everybody. It was great.
I can't believe that one thing happened. But we should tell you about it.
We'll tell you about it later.
The kid-friendly event looks like, is it 16 and under are free?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes, we have made that commitment from the very beginning that everything we do is 16 and under free. It's part of our mission as a nonprofit organization, our mission to bring youth to music and music to youth in a way that it inspires them to pick up and play an instrument, because we know that their whole life will be better when they do that.
Yeah.
And what I see is so many events, parents bring their kids until they're 13, because 12 and under free.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the family is separated and the kids are hanging out with their friends. And one of the coolest things is watching whole families make this a tradition. And everybody has something to do on site. Grandparents, parents, kids, teenagers, little kids, everybody has something to do, and they all love it. And it's great for a whole family of generation of folks to be in one place and be having such a great time.
And there's a petting zoo.
Musical petting zoo.
Yeah.
Imagine Music comes every year, and kids can just pick up any kid, even adult kids, can pick up an instrument and play right there on site.
Yeah, Adam Kozlowski and David Owen from Imagine Music are really great. Every year they oversee the whole process of we solicit for volunteers who are actually musicians who will sit down with one-on-one with kids and teach them chords, and it's really
that's
great.
So cool.
A lot of ukuleles around, a few fiddles and guitars. It's great.
And Drum Bus Utah. So there's a whole world percussion experience.
Oh, really?
Get on the bus
Yeah.
and drum.
Yeah, have you heard of them?
No.
Nels Anderson, he's in Salt Lake, but he gets all around and goes actually to schools and to all kinds of events, and his bus is self-contained. It's like the Magic Bus.
Right.
It's just packed
I
full
love
of
it.
drums.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so
so
fun.
cool. Djembes and all kinds of things. And yeah.
Okay, so what's the pro tip? So after years of doing this, what's some advice you can give to attendees on what they should bring and what they should be prepared for over the 3 days?
Well, all kinds of weather, Yeah.
This is very true.
Oftentimes, we find this to be the warmest weekend so far. It's like
In the
summer explodes, and it might hit 80 for the first time, and people think they're not used to it. They think they're going to
Yeah.
die. So sun protection, hats, sunscreen, and then also layers for the evening because it cools right off.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the desert, so evenings, even though it's beautiful during the day and warm, you can get cold at night. Another thing is there's a big campaign that started on Earth Day. A lot of bands got on board with BYO Bottle. It's all about bringing a reusable bottle and we have water on site. People can fill their bottles. So the Shook Twins and Infamous String Dusters, I know I didn't see any of the other bands on our lineup, but I'm sure they did, posted about that. And just we're trying to make this festival as sustainable as possible and not leave a bunch of junk behind. So,
Well, I've noticed that there's it's pretty organized. The cleaning crews, the trash collection, like it's a pretty tight ship down there, if I can say that's the way that you get that many people in a small area, but yet it stays pretty clean. You guys do a pretty good job.
Yeah, and new this year, our green team and bike valet are being run by Second Track Sports, another great part of our community here, and they make a really strong, secure place for you to ride your bike on our beautiful trails, get down to the fort. You can park your bike and be comfortable knowing that it's going to be secure there. And they're also out doing the cleanup, and part of that is recycling. And, Ogden's had a little lull in recycling, but things are back. And I just called yesterday and got the rules and regulations, so we'll be having one whole dumpster dedicated to recycling. And our volunteers are really great to sort it and have it recycle ready.
And Pepsi's taken all our plastic, all our 1 and 2 plastic, because they can recycle it right there. So we have a great partnership with Pepsi.
That's awesome.
Too.
What are you both looking forward to the most this year?
I just love to look out in the crowd and see so many happy people and people dancing and just having a great time. Kids and
That doesn't
old
get
people
old,
all
does
together.
it? That's wonderful.
Right. It really is what keeps me going is, well, that may be second to just actually listening and loving the music that I personally have booked because they're my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do all the booking?
Well, and Reba helps too.
Yeah.
And we have one more person on our talent committee, Bill Kabilis from the Bluegrass Express, KRCL. And so he brings, he keeps us in the traditional strong bluegrass mode with a mix of trad to rad. But we bring in the other eclectic things. We always make sure we have a great mix of women and youth because, again, our mission is to inspire youth. So if we can have a showcase youth bands right on stage, it's just magical. And everyone comments that they love that and keep doing that.
And speaking of that, one thing I'm really looking forward to this year is Michelle saw this band Cane Mill Road in North Carolina, and they're a great young band. They're all under 20, and we booked them in like December. We even booked them a year ago and said they couldn't come that year, so we said come next year. And then this guy that grew up at our festival, Hudson Bosworth, he because he's grown up at our festival, he won the flat pick guitar.
Hudson, yeah.
Hudson.
Yeah, and he
And
was with Facing West, and he spent
Yep.
some time with you last year.
I've met Hudson. Okay.
So he has played on our main stage before with Facing
Oh, yeah,
West.
Facing West.
I forgot.
And
But the Cane Mill Road, he joined Cane Mill Road. He's going to
really?
school at East Tennessee State University in their bluegrass program.
That's awesome.
And he just,
Small world.
they just had him join, and they are a phenomenal band. No Depression just named them one of the 8 bands out of 110 not to miss at Merle Fest. And they've just gotten a lot of attention. And their youngest member is kind of their lead, the mandolin player, Liam. And we're excited to have our homegrown Hudson Bosworth back on the main stage with this huge Cane Mill Road. So that's going to be cool.
And along with that, Chris Jones and the Night Drivers, he is known for being a really great mentor in the bluegrass circles. And what he's going to be doing is working with not just Cane Mill Road, but we got another band, a youth band out of California, Jubilee. And there's 2 girls and 2 boys. And they're all going to come together on Monday night after the festival for a free to the public show right down here at the amphitheater. We do that every year just to promote our mission and to have an opportunity for people who maybe don't have the means to get to our festival. Even though one way to get to the festival, if you're having trouble with means, is to volunteer.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was just thinking that.
Yeah.
That's a perfect way to do it.
Yeah, 2 3-hour shifts, or we do have some prime 3-hour shifts at times when it's hard to staff. And that's all you need to get a free 3-day pass. And we need all those folks, but it is a great way. And then they can bring their kids and
I love
everybody
it.
has a good time.
You often have highlighted local musicians in the past as well, right? On the main stage?
Got 2 big bands this year,
Yeah.
local.
Pixie and the Partygrass Boys are out of Salt Lake City, and they're dynamos. And they're touring all over the country, and
And they have a great
they were
name.
lucky to get
That's
them.
great.
Yeah,
Not
they're
only
so
that, there was a
great.
Partygrass Ale that
Fisher Brewery.
Fisher Brewery did. And I've never heard of a beer named after a local band before. I thought that
That's
was
awesome.
Thank you, Fisher.
Party
Yes.
Grass Pale Ale.
I love it. And then finally, the Utah State Instrument Championships. This is the home of the state championships.
Yes, that's a big part of our. One of the things that we feel really proud to be presenting. Over the years, it's been at parks. It's been at Deer Valley and Snowbird, but we've had it for several years now up here. It's really great to be able to have these championships where the winners are given the opportunity to go on to the national championships in Winfield, Kansas, at the what's it called? Walnut Valley Festival.
Yeah.
And then, it's very prestigious to be winners of the Bluegrass Instrument Championships, for sure.
And I just wanted to add, one of our local bands, Mama Longlegs out of Logan, they've played a bit here in Ogden and in Salt Lake now, but they're an up-and-coming, all-women, 5-member kind of bluegrass Americana original stuff. They're really...
Kind of
They're
indie
really-
folk. Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're going to love them.
I can't wait. All right, so take us through a few of the rules. First time out.
Okay. Dogs are only allowed in the campground, so unless you're camping and feel comfortable leaving your dog behind at your tent or
With a
your
leash.
trailer with the leash, don't bring your dog. We discourage you to bring a cooler of food and whatnot because we have some great vendors, local vendors providing food and beverage. We've got Roosters Brewery. We've got Grounds for Coffee, Lucky Slice Pizza.
And they even do late night.
They do, and several other a great variety of food vendors that we like to support. No alcohol can come in, but there will be beer and wine for purchase. But of course, if you have a special diet, we'll allow those sort of things to come in.
Like a special alcohol diet.
No special alcohol diet. We've got to follow those rules by the DABC.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
What are some other rules? Oh, like if you're camping, we say you can't play the radio or only instrument jams can happen in there, and turn your generators off, at a certain time.
Be
and
courteous.
Don't
just-
even use a generator.
Yeah.
But camping, we didn't really mention this, but after the main stage, there's a lot of picking in the campground, and it's so fun if you're down there. In fact, I live 10 minutes away, but I can't imagine not camping down there because you can walk around or bike around and listen to all the different jams. And if you have an instrument, bring it and play. And it's so fun. We even have an all-ages jam area now that just started last year, and it's great because the kids can be in a place that has a chaperone. And it's a little, it's well lit,
It's
a little
safe.
bit safer later at night, and it's a really cool experience. I would say another thing is we have a flat field out there at the fort, and so we have this delicate balance of sitting area and dancing area.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And people, for the most part, are just really cool with that because if we had a field that had any kind of slope to it, we wouldn't have to worry about that. But on a flat field, you got to have a spot for the people who want to sit, and then you got to have a spot for the people who want to dance. So that's a big thing.
Yeah, so if you're seating and if you want to have a close-up and personal place to sit, you've got to bring a lowrider chair that you can't fit a basketball underneath, and it can't have one of the big tall backs that you'd be blocking view with.
It's like the opposite of Snow Basin. For those who go up there during the summer for Blues, Brews, and Barbecue, they bring giant chairs.
Yeah.
So, but
You
that's a
can't have
big
that.
hill
With the
there.
canopy.
Yeah, the canopies, but
Mhm.
that's a bigger hill. So where this is flat, the courtesy here is to be low chairs.
So we actually cordon off, up to a certain point, low chairs only. Beyond that, taller chairs. And we do provide several shade tents that we put folding chairs under to optimize the use of that shade space because it does get warm. And you can also have a blanket that you sit on up front. I had one more thing on that. We don't want you to bring your umbrella shade
Yeah.
because that absolutely blocks the view. So we
Sunscreen.
provide some, that kind of shade. Yeah, sunscreen.
Sunscreen's awesome.
Or is that what you meant? You meant a tent.
Sunscreen instead of umbrellas.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a big hat.
We have a pretty
And a
cool
big
hat
hat.
this year that we're selling. It's one of those straw sun hats.
Is it branded for?
It's
Norfolk?
got
Oh,
a
yeah.
Norfolk,
Ogden Music Festival.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. That's always good.
Yep.
Again, the festival runs May 31st through June 2nd. Tickets are available now. Kids under 16 are free.
16 and under.
16 and under are free. Go to ofoam.org. That's OFOAM. If you can't remember that, it's Ogden Friends of Acoustic Music is what it stands for there. Tickets available also, I believe it's Smith Tix.
Nope.
And
Eventbrite.
Oh, it says
That's for
that's wrong.
that's
For
for
this a different event.
Yeah.
Okay. Eventbrite for Ogden Music Festival. What's this? What am we looking
Oh
at?
my goodness.
Well, we could talk about that, but could I take just a second and shout out to our great sponsors?
Oh, of course.
So in addition to grants, the RAMP grant here in Weber County and Ogden City, we also get support from Utah Office of Tourism and Utah Arts and Museums, and WestAF, the regional office of the NEA. But then we've got Beehive Cheese, Roosters, Weber County Parks and Recreation, Only in Ogden, AdPro, Pepsi, the Bigelow Hotel and Residence, Integrated Tax, Kraft Burger, America First Credit Union, KRCL, Joan Evans Alf, and some foundations, George S. and Dolores Dory Eccles and Willard L. Eccles, and the Dankers Foundation and Union Pacific, and Ralph Nye Foundation.
Michelle, you know a little something about KRCL?
I do. I have a little ownership in KRCL. I have a show Monday night, 10:30 to 1 a.m., The Night Train.
That's awesome. Anything else, Todd?
No, I just can't wait to go. I think that. And by the way, too, I think we can officially announce this, but the van will be behind.
Yeah.
Yes.
We did that last year, and it's so incredible to go back and see those sessions you all did.
They're
Kind
so
of little
great.
mini sessions, get to know the musicians as well,
lovely.
which makes it nice. You can't see right now, but we're recording this in the van. This is pre-van sessions tonight. We're going to be setting up for First Friday Art Stroll. And so for the full van sessions, we have our musicians play about 4 songs, and then we chat with them between the songs to get to know them. And so for OFOAM, we're going to do kind of little mini sessions. But it is a really good opportunity to get to know these musicians even better than their amazing performances. So
They're always so nice, and they open up, and they're very accommodating. They love playing, and it's so funny in a van backstage, literally down by the river.
yeah,
Seriously, in a van down by the river,
Yeah.
yes. And I loved that you highlighted some of the instrument champions. That was really cool.
it was an impressive bunch. Although it's easy to grab any of these impressive musicians here.
Yeah.
And then I also like the spontaneous little sessions, the little jam sessions. And oh, it's brilliant.
Like you said, they
can't
just
miss those.
happen in the parking lot there, in the
That's right.
campgrounds there.
Yep.
12th Annual Ogden Music Festival, again down at Fort Benaventura, May 31st through June 2nd. Thank you, Reba. Thank you, Michelle, for hanging out
Thank
with us.
you guys.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Sure.
And keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
We also had the opportunity to speak with Visit Ogden's Sara Toliver for a quick update on this week's Heritage Festival.
Festival.
You can keep that. Yeah, that's fine. The Sesquicentennial, the Spike 150. I did so good during the interview. I think I nailed every one of the words, but today they are gone for me. But we really do talk about where to park, how to volunteer, when you should be downtown, when you should be ride sharing to get downtown. Really good summary. So I'm so glad she was able to pop back in here.
Yep, so this is our interview with Sara Toliver of Visit Ogden.
Sara, thank you so much for joining us in Tan Van pre-van sessions for a very special chat about the upcoming Heritage Festival, our Spike 150 Sesquicentennial.
Nice
Did I catch all the
work.
words?
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you very much. The fact that I don't have to say Sesquicentennial every single day, and I already lost steam.
I see you did
One
there.
time
Yeah.
and done.
There hasn't been any train puns this last several months,
No,
has there?
none whatsoever.
Y'all could write a book on it. Yeah.
Following this train of thought, we're rolling down the track. Yeah, none of those have come out ever.
So we were talking with Sara Toliver from Visit Ogden, and you have been busy preparing for a little event that's coming up next week.
Yes.
This will be just a few days after we release this. The Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Yes, May 9th, 10th, and 11th.
9th, 10th, and 11th. Are you ready?
Always.
Yeah, you've been ready the whole time.
We're always ready.
You were ready last year for you should have celebrated the 149.
49. That would have been fun. That would have been a good trail run.
Oh my gosh! I saw today. UNA came out with a beer to celebrate.
They did.
Yeah.
So, there's actually a number of breweries in the state that have used Promontory or the Golden Spike or some sort of affiliation with our railroad history in their brands, in their beer products. And Uinta, I believe, was the first. Don't fact check me on that, but I think they were the first, and they've partnered with the Spike 150 Commission, the statewide commission, to be the primary beer provider at the events up at Promontory. So here in Ogden for our Heritage Festival, we of course wanted to make sure all of our local brews were represented. So they will be on site as part of our festival, but so will Roosters, Utah, and Talisman. So. Of course.
Yeah. Okay, so what should we be doing at this point? So we have a few days left. We want to get the word out on volunteers.
Yes, we still have. So an event of this magnitude does not happen by the sheer willpower of those, who are planning it. So
it's more than your office.
It is more than our office and the city and the Alliance and everyone else that's involved in this. But we need more than 1,000 volunteer positions filled in order to be, produce the kind of event that we want to produce. And so we are making great headway. We launched with volunteers a few weeks ago, but really have just started pushing this week. I think people have, the greatest of intentions and want to come help, but are just waiting to see what their schedule looks like. So now's the time to go online and sign up. We still have about 300 positions open, and we could really use your help. So
what are the days for the volunteers?
The days are all 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So May 9th, 10th, and 11th. They can pick a day, and the shifts range anywhere from, we start really early Thursday morning at about 4:30 a.m. and go all the way till about 10 o'clock Thursday night. And then on Friday and Saturday, most of the shifts start around 9, and then the ending time is 10. And we have them broken apart in 3 to 4 shifts per day, depending on the job. So each shift is about, on average, 3 or 4 hours.
So you're not working from 4:30 a.m. to 10 at night?
No, we know people
shift.
actually have other things to do in their day, and that they're very gracious to give us what time they do have. So most of those shifts
special shirts?
They do. They get a volunteer shirt and a hat and credentials, and they're just going to look super official, and it'll be
and then
great.
Brandon and I were talking, if we need to, we will call everybody's bosses.
Thank you.
Just to get them the afternoon off.
I think that sounds amazing.
We have a lot of
I will say we have some amazing organizations in this community where, the organization has agreed to let the employees take the time off paid, not using vacation time, but to come down and volunteer for the event, on their time. So we just live in an amazing place, and we're excited to share it with all those coming to visit us.
Okay, so take us through the day. So Thursday's a big day. Thursday's a day we're going to start very early.
Yes, Thursday's our biggest day, I would say.
And Thursday's the reenactment day?
Right, and that's why it's our biggest day. So the steam engines roll into town and do their ceremonial nose-to-nose meetup the morning of the 9th.
Todd and I do that once a
a nose-to-nose meetup? I like it.
But we do it once every 150 days, so it's very similar. Yeah.
Can we do a champagne toast photo after you do that?
Oh, absolutely.
So that is, the steam engines are what the train enthusiasts and history buffs are the most excited about. This will be the first time in 60 years that a 4000 series train will be operating under its own steam power. So pretty cool for those who are passionate about steam engines, and even those of us who, are just learning about them. The last time we had a steam engine come to Union Station, it was pulled in by another diesel, and we had almost 50,000 people come down to see it while I was here. So anyway, back to the morning of the 9th. The steam engines will come in. The program starts at about 10:30. The reenactment or steam meet lot is the lot just south of Union Station on Wall Avenue, right there behind the old Shoup Williams Laundry Building. And we will open the gates at 5 a.m. for people to start filtering in if they'd like.
Probably a good idea to get there early.
Yes. So
they're going to tent the night before. Do you think people are coming the night before?
We don't know.
Yeah.
We think people will be there bright and early. We don't anticipate anyone trying to camp out, and our police will be down there making sure they don't. So don't come camp out,
Okay,
but
don't
just
do that.
come.
Okay.
And they do get there early.
Yeah, just come nice and early to make sure you have a spot. And the city will be setting up the bleachers that we have along Wall Avenue, but that will be the only seating. So make sure you're ready to stand for a while and be able to see
Can
those
they
steam
bring their
engines.
own chairs, or is that?
You can only bring a chair if you have a need for it, if it's
Okay.
an assistive device of some kind. We're just worried about tripping hazards and other dangers that come in when people start setting things up on the ground
Now,
with
who's
so many
planning
people.
that big event? Is that Union Pacific?
That one is a collaboration between Union Pacific, the state's Spike 150 Commission, and then the city and our local organizing committee has been helping with just the logistics of the street closures and the fencing and the bleachers and that kind of thing. But the trains and all of that part are being planned
Have
by
y'all
UP.
rehearsed it yet?
No rehearsal.
Somebody in like a train costume.
comes rolling down the tracks.
Nose to nose.
Nose to
How
nose.
close
Here
do
we are.
go?
Yeah. So, and that program will last about an hour, so 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And then the trains will stay in that position for the rest of the day, that day, Thursday. The Heritage Festival will kick off at 10 a.m. that morning, so that means all the vendors on the plaza of Union Station up 25th Street to Grant will be open and available. And then inside Union Station will open after the steam meet, so at noon.
No
And then
parking on 25th Street, locals.
Parking is going to be very, very limited. So we really encourage people to take advantage of either riding front runner if they don't live right here in town, or
Which
if
seems
they,
appropriate.
Yeah, I mean it does seem
Take the
appropriate,
train in,
and
yeah.
it's so close. It just gets you right there. And then other options are we have established 4 park and ride shuttle areas, and we'll be providing free shuttle service every 30 minutes from the D Event Center, from the Newgate Mall right behind where Sears used to be on the west side of Sears there, and then in the old Fred Meyer parking lot on 12th and Wall, and then at the Ogden City Rodeo Grounds. So the shuttles will run continuously every 30 minutes from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Just buses?
Just buses.
Trains,
The trolley,
Brandon.
yeah,
I
trains
was
are
hoping
coming.
for, yeah.
The UTA is bringing in their trolleys, so those will be
Yes.
the downtown shuttles.
Yeah.
And then Weber State is providing
exciting.
transportation from the D Event Center. And on those buses, we'll
Yeah.
have history students giving historical.
I think my friend,
lessons.
my Arts in the Parks partner in crime,
Yes.
Catherine McKay, she said that she has already got she's got a little train hat,
Awesome.
and she's going to be doing one of the.
She's helping us with that. Yeah, she's
yeah.
wonderful.
Oh, she has stories to tell.
So, and the nice thing about taking the shuttle, instead of, trying to find a parking spot and walking blocks and blocks to the site, the shuttles will actually drop off the closest because they'll have access inside the road closure to drop off. So it gives you front door access, basically.
Yeah, why park a mile away?
Yeah.
That's the way
Oh,
to
I
do
like
it.
that.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So, and then on Friday and Saturday, it's the Heritage Festival, which will be inside Union Station and up 25th Street to Grant from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. both days. We have multiple vendors in both inside the station on the plaza and up 25th Street. We have live performances, music. Ogden Musical Theater's put together a melodrama called Wedding of the Rels. Just multiple different kinds of live entertainment on the stage all day. And then for those who are interested in the events happening up at Promontory on May 10th, but maybe don't want to get up there or didn't get their tickets already because they are sold out, we will be live streaming the activities up at Promontory on big LED screens on both the stage, which will be at Grant, and on the plaza at Union Station. So you can just come hang out with us and watch it from here.
How much are the activities you have to pay for, and how much are free?
In Ogden, everything is free. So come and hang out with us. I mean, obviously, if you purchase something from a vendor or,
Yeah.
beer or food, but admission to
The
all the
hangout's
events
free.
are free.
Bus rides, everything's free.
Bus rides are free. Union Station's free, including the museums. So just, come hang out with us. I think that, one of our, as locals, as community members, sometimes when we have these big events, we think, oh, maybe we won't go down and deal with that today because we can go to Union Station anytime. But there really is some special programming taking place. And I think, this is a once every 50 years, if not more, experience. And I think we're all going to be really excited to have been a part of it.
It's not very often 2 steam engines kiss in Ogden.
It hasn't ever happened before. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
I love it. I think that we're about as ready as we can be.
Yep.
It's going to happen regardless.
That's exactly right. This event is happening to us. So we are going to throw a great party this community
What
can be proud
are you
of.
personally most excited about?
I think for me, the part that I'm most excited about is gaining a better appreciation for our community's history, why we are the town we are, why we're a gritty town. It's all based in the roots of this railroad industry coming through our community, and knowing and feeling like I appreciated that, but now knowing I don't think I really did to the extent that it deserves. And the more I've learned in the planning of this event and just really how important that historical event was for our community and how important this depot has been for our community, it's just a really cool opportunity to be able to showcase our community to so many people. And, we all love it here, and I love the chance to be able to show it off.
Yeah, that's no pressure.
None. Lots of people coming
Plus,
to
you
check
get a
it
chance
out.
to use a lot of this knowledge you've picked up.
I
The
now have a whole
confidence-
new vocabulary.
The confidence with which you said the 4,000 series. I remember we talked months and months ago, and the words came, but not as quickly as they do today.
Oh my gosh.
Sesquicentennial just rolls right off my tongue. I can tell you a little bit more about the trains. I know a lot about the foamers, which is what these train enthusiasts refer to themselves as. So yes, we have learned
acronym, I'm assuming.
a whole new vocabulary.
Yeah.
Is that Friends of?
Foamers.
There's multiple interpretations.
Oh, okay.
But that is how they refer to themselves. But one that I have heard referred to is that they get so excited about the trains that they foam at the mouth. Foamers.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait. I think the closer it gets, the more excited I get. I think that it's a really good opportunity for us to take a couple of days off and really get together.
I agree. It's, I think these big events in our community, especially when they commemorate a historical occurrence like this, are really a great time as a community, like you said, to come together. I mean, just really celebrate why we are who we are and how far we've come and all of those things. And I think we'll all look back afterwards and be really proud of our city.
I think so many of us in Ogden, too, have worked so hard on 25th Street in the creation of our new Nine Rails Creative District that it is a really good time to show it off to the world, when they're coming to
Agreed.
visit.
And that's a good point, too, because the programming, the way we've set it up, you have this really cool, I guess transition maybe is the right word, that you have Union Station as the capstone of 25th Street. That's a perfect reference of our history and how we started and, where we're based from. And then the programming that we have with the vendors for the event is rooted there in our history and some of the transportation elements. And then as you move up the street, it moves into our present and our future with, even though the event footprint doesn't come all the way up to the Nine Rails Creative District, we're promoting that as being kind of the other end of the capstone of what our future looks like. And with Nine Rails being named for the 9 rails that came into our station during World War II and all of the symbolic, what's the right word? Symbolism, thank you. That comes from that. It kind of comes full circle. It's
That's
pretty
wild.
cool.
That's wild. This town really was a train town. I wish we had more like an old train that was just like a daily tour train that you could jump on.
There have been a number of people who have pushed for that for years. And unfortunately, the tracks from Ogden don't run. Well, they don't run all the way to Promontory anymore, and they don't run that far north. And so the big question has been, how do you get enough property for the train to be able to turn around or make a loop, come back, and give people a ride that's worth taking, All of the rail was removed during World War II for the iron. So it doesn't...
So we need a rail investor.
We need a rail investor, yes. This would be the perfect time to find one.
There might be one here this weekend.
I'll ask around.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
start
Sarah,
interviewing
thanks,
people.
Your team, thank you to your team. I'm sure that.
And everyone
it's
else.
not,
Yeah,
I was going to
exactly.
say, it's not just Visit
Downtown
Ogden, but
Alliance,
the
the
Downtown
city.
Alliance and the city. We've got a great local organizing committee that has taken on another full-time job, and we're excited for the event to be here and, for all of this great work to come to fruition.
So I got one last question for you. So what are you guys going to do on Sunday, or I should say probably Monday? Everybody coming into the
Probably
office on Monday
Monday.
morning?
It will be interesting to see. We've got the Ogden Marathon the next weekend, so
It's
we're
so
back
true.
to
There's
work.
always something, yeah.
So
May is busy.
May is busy. We did think we would have May 12th off, to be honest, and then we found out that when the trains depart, which is the morning of May 12th, that it will also draw quite a large crowd.
Yeah,
so the trains will leave.
I say yeah, like I know, but if I'm like that would make sense. Yeah.
So the trains leave at 8 a.m. Or Sunday morning the 12th. So pretty early, and it is Mother's Day after all. So I'm just gonna sit back and make my kids and husband, let me be.
I think that is a perfect day to take care of Mom. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks
Looking
for
forward to
having
next
me.
weekend.
Thanks, Sarah. All right, put a ball on it. That is a wrap for episode 15 of the Nine Rails Arts Podcast, produced by the Banyan Collective Arts and Adventure Podcasting since 2010. Do not miss an episode of the Banyan Collective's Nine Rails Arts Podcast as we explore what it means to be an adventurous creative in 2019. Here are the stories of Ogden's new Nine Rails Creative District, including those of the district's epicenter and home of artisans, designers, and creatives, the Monarch Building. Follow the Nine Rails Arts Podcast on Facebook and also on Instagram at the number 9 for Nine Rails. For more on the Banyan Collective, simply search the Banyan Collective on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. This week we'll leave you with a little something from Van Sessions, as recorded backstage at last year's Ogden Music Festival. This is Wasatch Wildgrass.
There's a well-beat path on that old mountainside where I wandered when I was a lad. Now I wander alone to the place I call home, those Blue Ridge Hills far away. Oh, I love those hills of old Virginia. From those Blue Ridge Hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bury me on the mountain far away, my Blue Ridge mountain home. Now my thoughts wander back to the ramshackle shack in those Blue Ridge Hills I did love, where my mother and dad, they were laid there to rest. They are sleeping at peace together there. Oh, I love those hills of old Virginia. From those Blue Ridge Hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bury me on the mountain far away, my Blue Ridge mountain home. I return to that old cabin home with a sigh. I've been longing for days gone by. When I die, won't you bury me on that old mountainside, make my resting place upon the hill so high. Oh, I love those hills of old Virginia. From those Blue Ridge Hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bury me on the mountain far away, my Blue Ridge mountain home. Far away, my Blue Ridge mountain home.